So apparently if you win the Hunger Games, you can still get picked and killed in the next one. That kinda sucks. So the Hunger Games Catching Fire is obviously the sequel to last year's The Hunger Games. Last year Katniss won, and now everyone's like, so maybe we can overthrow the Capitol and get out of the shithole we live in and stop our kids from being violently killed every year. Maybe. There's some hope, right? Right, Katniss? But of course President Snow is having none of that shit, so he's all like, well, we gotta get rid of Katniss. We can't just take her out back and shoot her in the head because that'll be weird. So they come up with this plan to have another Hunger Games, hoping that she'll die in this one. So the movie starts off a little slow, establishing all the political agendas, the significance of Katniss's actions, and really paints the big picture for you to eventually realize later on. I wouldn't say it was boring at any point, it did keep me interested, and there was one scene that definitely was the turning point that made me go like, oh man, shit just got real. A lot of people have mentioned how this movie is apparently emotionally draining, and I would say there were a lot of emotional scenes in this movie that were really well acted. Props to Jennifer Lawrence and everyone else in the supporting cast. Speaking of the supporting cast, I really like the other tributes. Sure, they kind of skimmed over some of the less important ones in like a few scenes, and they probably died really fast early on. But the ones that were significant, like Finnick, Johanna, VT, all those guys were really well done, well acted, and well characterized. Also, they got a different director, a bigger budget, and really shows in the action and the arena that just feels a lot more epic and a lot more awesome and dangerous at the same time. And yes, folks, there is no more shaky cam in this movie, so action scenes don't look like this. So that's always good. There aren't really that many negative things to say about this movie because I found it really exciting, really engaging. One thing I will say though, that Hunger Games definitely lacks a memorable soundtrack. I mean, movies like Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter all have those like little themes that you kind of remember in your head from the soundtrack. Yeah, Hunger Games doesn't have that. It just has that like 4-tone, 3-finger salute whistle thing that I can't do because I can't whistle. So it doesn't really have a theme, and I wish it did. The soundtrack overall is just a little bland and a little underwhelming, doesn't really feel epic. But overall, I really enjoyed Hunger Games Catching Fire, definitely better than the first one. If you like the first movie, you'll definitely like this one. But if you didn't quite enjoy the first movie and you didn't like the premise, you might not enjoy Catching Fire either, so just be aware of that. I don't like how I have to wait another year and 2 years to see how the story ends, but I am excited to see Mockingjay Part 1 next year, so yeah. That's all I got for Catching Fire. Feel free to agree or disagree, leave a comment. I'll see you guys next time.